Alright, so a couple days ago I put up a video on my Beta95x for the naked GoPro, and this is very similar to the product that Beta FPV is selling as the Beta85x, and also they have a 2.5 inch version in the 95x. And you know, there's been some complaints about this design, the weakness of this printed part here with this hinge breaking off, etc., or this plate breaking. I personally don't like the GoPro up top like this, and with the battery underneath here. It's a very tall profile. I think I measured it was about 4.5 inches, I think, something like that. It's, you know, with everything, with the battery and everything, the overall height's pretty tall, and because of this, the camera weight's so much here, it does make this setup here kind of wobble a little bit, and also if you're not even using the dampeners, it can kind of shake a little bit and cause some CG balance issues because of the weight. And I think that's why, you know, when Tommy made the Umma95 and Umma85 with the GoPro kind of lower, sitting lower, it's like kind of a, also is inverted as well, the CG and everything is kind of lower. So a number of you guys have asked me if it was possible to make a Umma85 95 type of design for the the naked GoPro here, the one in this case that Beta FPV is making, and I came up with this solution. So this is the 95x frame, and you see here I'm using the GoPro Lite, or the naked GoPro here, and I've designed a holder for that along with the camera holder for the FPV camera and the clean plate for the vibration dampening. And all these parts will be up in Thingiverse. I did borrow Tommy's Umma95 dampeners here, but I did modify them because the weight of the camera being up front like this is a lot heavier, so these need to be thicker. So I did the STL file will have 2 for the front that are thicker and 2 that are thinner for the back. And you don't really necessarily have to use TPU. I've seen guys use like zip ties and other things, but this seems to be okay. And also you'll have to adjust your printer settings because based on the thickness and the density of these prints here, your vibration dampening and also the amount of movement you're going to get here is going to vary. But as you can see, the camera is completely dampened. It doesn't touch the frame at all, as well as the FPV camera, and this seems to work pretty well. So I was going to make an Umma95 with the permanently mounted GoPro into the frame, but I actually like this idea better because I can now take this off if I want. It's modular. I can take the camera off here, and I just have a small plug in the back, as I showed earlier, and I can move it to any frame I want. I can move it to the 85x, I can move it to a 3 inch, I can move it to a 5 inch. I just need a mount for it and power supply. I think the Umma95x is going to have a little bit lower profile, because I think just sit maybe about half an inch lower. My guesstimation, I actually haven't even built it, so if you guys are wondering, it will have a little bit different CG because the camera board is going to be under this plate here, and the lens is going to be lower as well. So those are things to consider. You know, I think this thing flies fine. I haven't really done a whole lot of tuning for this. And by the way, I built this a little bit differently. This is not an out-of-the-box 95 or a Beta95x. This one here has 1204 5000 kV motors, and I'm using the HQ T65mm propeller. And yes, the 65mm propeller does fit, no problem. Very close to the duct. And I was actually flying this on 3S. If you're probably flying it on 4S, but if you're flying it indoors, even 2S will work. I flew it on 2S, believe it or not. You'll have to adjust your throttle curve. But if you're flying indoors, want to fly really slow, this will work on 2S, 3S, and outdoors will work on 4S. So this is still kind of a work in progress. I mean, this print's pretty much done. You may need to make some adjustments here. I would like some feedback on the thickness of this PLA part. Obviously, you could probably redesign this in carbon and then attach a PLA part or TPU part for the hinge, and you know, make a carbon and TPU kind of combo parts, so I don't have access to a router for cutting carbon, so that's why I decided just to put it in PLA. And then probably need a better solution for the video transmitter back here. By the way, this is the new Beta FPV M02 video transmitter. It goes up to 350 milliwatts, and this is the antenna. Seems to work fine. Just wanted to point out that's there, but I just have it stuck on here with some VHB and some dental floss, and seems to be fine. But I probably need to design something back here for that. So if you have any suggestions about how to put some sort of a part back here for the VTX besides this that's maybe a little more elegant, let me know. And then one more thing about this design I think is kind of cool is that because it's on that hinge there, you can get more camera angle if you want to go faster, or you can reduce your camera angle if you want, so it's adjustable. And if you just build the Umma95 in the current setup, I believe the camera angle is fixed, so that is one of the downsides of that. Anyway, so this is kind of a lighter build. Since it's not using 1106 motors, it's using the 1204 motors. This is everything here. No battery with the GoPro, coming in at 121.4 grams. And then I was flying it around in the demo here on the 520 GMB3S. And with this battery, altogether it's 163.4 grams. And one more thing is I did build this with a different ESC. This one is the 12 amp single board ESC. I think the 95X comes with a 16 amp through 2-bit ESC and separate flight controller board. So this is the single board. I think the 95X actually comes with 2 boards, which is I think a difference of about 4 grams if I'm not mistaken. So I just wanted to make this a little bit lighter because my intention was to run this on 3S. But if you're going to run this on 3S, I would say don't use this prop here because it's too thin bladed and too low pitched. I'd go with the 2.5 by 2.5 by 3 HQ prop or the GemFan 2540 on 3S. This here on 4S should be okay because it's a lower pitch, and on this motor 4S it should be totally fine under the 12 amp limit for the ESCs if you happen to build it this way. Anyway, so I'll put all these parts up on Thingiverse. They'll be up on my Thingiverse account, linked down in the description. And let me know if you guys have any feedback on making any further improvements on this. It seems to be pretty good. I like the way it flies, and this is actually the one I'm going to be taking out for basically getting cinematic footage. And I'm probably going to rebuild this one as inverted as well, with a smaller clean plate. And so look for that video in the near future. So stay tuned for that.
you.